David wakes up with a single tear. So touching story.
And with that, eventually it would come to morning. Jun, how you been doing?
Stressing out.
Jun, you have been stressing out all night then. Your eyes darting around everywhere, looking at every single little possible shadow that moves. Anytime you see something moves, you start to tense up, but it passes. You see Brandon jolting every now and then, tensing, releasing, but not quite seeming rested. You see David just chilling. Before he wakes up, you see a single tear trickle out of one of his eyes.
Poor guys, it's so heavy on them.
I wish, David, you will wake up.
He said she would rather be lost in the mine with him than go back to their family. Good morning, John. Been
What?
reading.
You're not crying in your sleep?
Technically not in my sleep. Since it was an astral projection.
Well, has the sun risen? Is there like enough light to see June's face?
Oh yeah, maybe you would be able to see
Yeah,
you in the
her,
dark
her
anyway.
eyes are bloodshot, like she barely blinked.
Are you okay, June?
Yeah, nothing happened.
The twig snaps.
Her neck like snaps immediately. Whoa, what's that?
You see a little rat trundling along in the underbrush.
June, could you do me a favor? Could you blink?
Didn't I blink? She blinks a few times and it hurts. Oh.
You feel like there's been a film of dust on your eyes and been open that long.
Oh, okay. You're fine. I had to concentrate twice as much because of I was snoring. Corner of my eye, Brandon keep making weird movements with his body. You were mumbling and crying, and there were so many rats, owls, and leaves in the wind.
Farts.
I also had to survive that the entire night.
It doesn't smell too good.
I'm not sure what she ate. Honestly,
Let's get back home.
she actually
Brandon?
just curls up on the ground.
I start waking up Brandon.
Brandon, you would snap to rather than gradually come to.
Good morning, sunshine.
Shit, what happened?
You fainted. We dragged your body to the camp and then went to sleep. It's all of us
Shit.
except June, that is.
Wait, June needed to stay up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted
Oh,
to give the shift to Kara, but Kara was already.
Oh, John, I am so sorry.
Okay.
I needed to complete my shift, but right. Okay, nothing I can do about it now.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah. Guys, can I talk to you that I'm properly present, I guess?
What's up?
I was snoring.
Right. Okay, I'll try and just be as succinct as I can. Last night, Dave, I did try to control the dogs with my wild magic, but I think that's what I just sort of. I think you saw at one point. I just started teleporting around.
Yeah, you started moving.
I think I must have just triggered some sort of a surge, but I think I must have tried about 5 times whilst I was being restrained to push my magic out, and I just couldn't exert any control. But after I passed out, I had another dream.
Continue.
It was like my others, although this time I was able to kind of consciously recall some details. It started with me being in a room and opening some sort of portal. I kind of focused in on it, and I feel that I might understand how it might work. It's not something I can do at the moment, but once I got there, I appeared in a village. There were a bunch of kids, and then I raised my hand. I wasn't in control of my own body, and more of those dogs appeared. But this time I looked to my side and I saw I can't really describe it other than like this flesh abomination. Brandon gives like a detailed description based on what you said earlier, Pete. I tried to look around for a reflective surface whilst in the dream to see whether like the person was me or someone else, but no luck. But just before the dream ended, well, not me, I didn't speak. My mouth opened, it was someone else's voice, and they just said, another remnant. Can't remember the exact wording, but it was something to another remnant, sort of interesting, and that was it.
Did you feel like that was something in the past, or was it maybe in the here and now?
Should I roll to see how well I was able to kind of hone on that detail, since I'm trying to recall it after the fact?
I'm trying to think of a way you could potentially be able to tell that, to be honest. Roll.
I guess
Just roll me an
I
Arcana.
think the way I would probably think is that if, like, let's say for example, before I take an action, I kind of remember the action before taking it. Like, you kind of following a memory. Okay, this is working at least 10. Well, I'm gonna
Perfectly
guess that
average.
You are
perfectly
sure.
average. Brandon just kind of blinks and shakes his head a sec. Sorry, Dave. Can't exactly remember. There wasn't really anything that I could see around. I mean, I tried explicitly looking for anything that could give me more information about my surroundings. It seems at the very least that if I'm aware that I'm dreaming, I am able to recall details of my dream, but can't exactly express control over my body. All I can do is try and recall things. But, do you learn anything?
Yes, I did. And here's the interesting. Do you want to hear the good news first or the bad news?
Bad news first. I'd rather get out of the way.
How should I say this?
It's bad, isn't it?
It's difficult. More
Bad,
than
bad,
bad.
or like
Well, good news is you're alive. I
said-
learned that's the reason why you probably changed into, well, what your body is now. Is probably because it adapted to this magical power that you had. And if it didn't, then you would most likely no longer be alive.
Right.
Your magic is too potent for your body, basically.
Wonder why Kara transformed into the same species then.
Don't know.
I mean, that theory makes sense to me, but Kara hasn't, I mean, a bit of magical potential, but it's nothing like me, so...
Yeah, maybe
I don't know,
her
maybe-
reason for changing could be different. I mean, June also changed. Not even in
Yeah.
race, but also gender, so...
Yeah, I mean, as a reason goes, it makes sense. Wow, I kind of feel like I should probably be more upset by this.
Well, you are alive because you changed. So that's the good news.
Yeah.
And the more difficult... I had a history lesson. So apparently, Bertrou was commander of the Spater, ruler of the second ring of hell, I believe, in the city of this.
more than one.
Right.
Yes, there are more than one layers in hell.
How many were there?
And this Peter and Bertrou had a war against each other. Not to overthrow him, because this Peter is the leader or the ruler of the second layer, but more to reduce his power, or at least
Put him in check.
suppress his power, put him in check. Not necessarily to overcome him. And because of this, this Peter back at Bertrou, I think killing him. They had a final battle, but it's unsure if he died or didn't die. But I do believe that Bertrou is dead. And since you are a remnant of Bertrou, it could be that you have some of his blood flowing through your veins. And that could also be the reason why you get your magical powers from.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah, continue.
No, sorry. I actually had a theory. I didn't really think about this too much, but given what you've said, Dave, I'm going to guess that those dogs are probably tracking my magic.
They are.
That's kind of what what? Oh, so that's right. Okay. Well, okay, that's confirmed.
Because I also asked Danavel, and he said, well, if they are tracking you through multiple universes, then it's probably by your magic. So there are two things that could happen. You suppress your magic, and then they cannot find you, but it could build up within your body, and then I just with my hands explosion. Or you use your magic and hope they don't find us.
And then roll intelligence to see if you can understand what he means with the hand gesture.
I like whether.
Oh, that's a nice cloud. I will turn into a cloud.
Sorry, let me just roll this in here. It's kind of picking and choosing which things to send through. Nah,
You're just kind of looking
Yeah.
at his hands, just wondering why he's wiggling his fingers. What's going on?
Dave, what do you mean by the hand gesture? I'm not quite.
I mean, you
I think
explode because the magic inside your body builds up to such a degree it bursts out of
Right.
you.
Okay.
So that, but it's a
Right.
theory, nothing proven yet. For the same reason,
Okay.
it doesn't build up, and then it's fine.
Right, so I'm actually going to take this as not the worst views in the world because just by sheer luck, I've been doing my enchanting, which I'm going to assume is siphoning off some of this magical energy. So maybe if I keep doing
Definitely.
that, might help.
That's good.
Dave, can I ask you a favor next time you go to that library?
What's up?
I wanted to ask you this last night, but I passed out before I had a chance. Remember what I was saying about making gadgets?
Yeah.
It might be worth seeing if you can find any literature on engineering, magical engineering, and I'm gonna have to have a look at it. I think I might have an idea.
Oh god.
So, okay.
Well, okay, I'll be more specific. You said that the choices of either sealing my magic or expanding my magic to the point where it's probably not going to be followed.
Or be able to control the magic, since it is something that you have little control. So it does-
How about masking it?
How would you do that?
Well, I mean, we're able to enchant a bag to hold infinite space. I mean, I guess we'd have to look into spells, but I mean, I would imagine that with magic there would be ways to conceal things. I mean, maybe look for anything like that, and maybe I could enchant it into something like a belt. Like maybe I could kind of like have like an aura around me.
There's also
But they
certain things that turn them away. I could use Turn or Dead and it repulsed one of them. So if you
yeah,
make
Yeah,
they are on that.
your help
tweet
with
we
that,
have. But my
I had
question
an
is, if they
Sorry, go on.
if they know where you are because of your magic, because you're using magic, because if you don't use it, it's not a problem, then what are you masking?
Well, sorry, Dave, could you just explain that again just to make sure I understand you correctly?
Well, if they can only locate you when you're using magic, then what is it that you're trying to mask?
Well, I wasn't using magic when they appeared.
Maybe they're not
So-
even tracking his magic at all. I mean,
So what I'm saying is maybe it's not so much like if I'm casting a spell, I must be emitting some sort of signature passively. Maybe it's to do with the amount of magic. I mean, it could be if I've cast a lot of spells in quick succession. Maybe that kind of gives us a signal, but what I'm thinking about is if we're in this kind of situation again, Dave, where we're out in the middle of the arse end of nowhere and they appear, I mean, we fended them off this time, but I think just trying to have some sort of measure to stop them from appearing in the first place
No, I agree with
would be
that.
ideal.
I 100%
Because
agree with that. I do not think we can take them on head on.
yeah, which is why I'm thinking of ways to stop them from appearing in the first place rather than repelling them once they're already here.
I agree.
And this is the best idea that I've got right now because, Dave, I'm going to level with you. If I don't come up with a solution, I'm a liability to you guys.
Well, not to us. And yesterday night was also an example. They didn't attack me, or didn't even try to attack me. They only tried to capture you.
they only
Yeah.
because when we stopped them, like it was fine. I was fine standing next to you, but as soon as I tried to remove
Yeah,
them,
they were definitely
Yeah.
they were definitely coming after me. I mean, they did bite me once
So
when I was struggling.
I don't think that you are a liability, because at most you get captured. We are not
Yeah.
interesting to them.
I also am afraid that this magic isn't even the biggest problem. I vaguely remember Mac Ghostface telling us, and Lady Eldad as well, that we carried just the powers and our appearance innately within us. So even if we don't use the magic, it's there. And now that he's even more whatever was locked up within him. I think they're tracking that.
It could also be.
Because you said Bertu kinda died.
Oh yeah. So in my story,
Maybe-
where was I?
Yeah.
Petru and this had a battle. Petru allegedly lost that battle, but that is also because his creations that he created, for example, like these dogs that you see, that is in a creation of Petru. They banded together against Petru. So these dogs could either be that what is left over, trying to hunt down any remnants of Petru, which is you, Brandon, or they could be part of this, trying to mask as if they are part of Petru.
It's a
And that
mess
this is
anyway.
trying to look for any remnants that is Petru.
The only clue that I've got to their intentions, Dave, was a quest, and it was pretty clear. The objective was survive, not negotiate, not deal with, just survive. So I'm sorry, John. What do you want to say?
Perhaps you're being put away because this Bertu needs his remnants to be whole again or powerful. Because you're kinda a little piece of him, and maybe he needs a lot of little pieces to be whole again or something. Because he
That
did
voice in
the war and all
I
that.
wouldn't be surprised if the voice in my dream was actually Bertu in that case. I'm going to assume that maybe I'm like a Horcrux or something, you know, if you've ever seen Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
So Voldemort kind of like split up his soul into, I mean, it was objects in that case, and I guess in case of Harry Potter, the kid himself, but maybe when he was defeated or before that last battle, maybe he had a backup plan just in case.
Could also be, and this is what I find interesting.
I mean, it could be that the dogs were trying to capture me to bring me and any other remnants of Bertu back. Maybe they want to do a ritual to kind of like forcibly take whatever makes me a remnant out of me and to put all the pieces back together.
Could also be that whatever dream you are having is not from the perspective of Bertrand, but of this. And he's trying to hunt down any remnants. Because of
True.
the line the voice
guess.
said from your most recent dream makes me believe it isn't the past that you are watching. Because it's noticed a remnant. Now it could also be an old remnant, and that could also still mean it's the past dream.
I see your point, Dave. The reason I make the connection that it could possibly be Bertu is because if I share a bloodline, that gives me quite a direct connection to them. But the one thing I will say, and I forgot to mention this in my dream, when he raised his hand, the dogs and the abominations, they attack kids, Dave. They attack kids, Dave. I still remember the look on their faces. They were terrified. I mean, I know that's not adding anything to the discussion, but sorry, it just made me think about that.
I think it's important to know, Brandon, that wasn't you.
I know. It's when you...
It looks like it, and I'm not sure how.
What-
I can't understand how you feel about it, but
What scared me most about last night, Dave, is... And that, it wasn't the fact that I almost... It's as you said yourself, they didn't really attack, they just dragged me around, but it's just like in the dream and it's being dragged around on the floor. I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't defend myself, I couldn't help. Sorry, but that's all I can remember. And talking about this at length is only going to get us so far with the information that we have. Whether I heard Bertu's voice or whether it was this other guy, I'll probably have more dreams in time, get more context. But all I can really think about for the moment is trying to find a way to make this magic not just to get it under control, but to make it useful, not just for my survival, but for all of us. So I'd rather just think about that if I can.
At this point, Kara, there's a big snurch, and she sort of wakes up. Morning, guys.
Hey,
You guys have any
Kara.
weird dreams?
Yeah, I had one. How about you?
Yeah, someone shouts my name. It's weird. Not in a nice way, but kind of like a, Where are you, Way?
Did anything else happen?
No, just that for hours.
Are you okay?
It's a bit bored.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I had a bad dream. I'll just leave it at that.
Aww. She goes over and gives you a hug.
Thanks, Kara.
You're welcome. And with that, she nods her head and looks towards David. What's to eat?
Let me figure something out. Probably sandwiches.
Ooh, like sandwiches. She sits on her haunches, just kind of staring at you preparing food. Her tail just kind of flopping around in anticipation.
There's no difference between her and the dogs waiting for food.
They both just line up on each side of her.
Also wagging their tails.
Yes. But Kara's the one that's drooling the most.
I start making sandwiches.
Okay. Mark off those rations. You managed to put together some decent enough sandwiches out of the bits that you have. They are quite tasty, quite filling, even if some people are not necessarily in the mood for food. If anything is left behind, Kara will fight the dogs for it. Kara's really just kind of like Goku.
I mean, I've said before that Kara really does seem like a shonen gag character.
Yeah, you have.
So arguably more dangerous than Goku in that case.
After breakfast, shall we head back to the town?
Yes.
Deliver the honey?
Let's visit the graveyard first. Because if Cletus is going to direct us to the graveyard, then there is no reason to give the honey to Cletus.
Yeah, let's make tracks whilst the sun shines out.
And with that, you all begin making your way back roughly the way that you guys came. Kara helping to assist you in the right direction from where she came from. Have for some reason been able to actually remember where she came from, partially, surprisingly. And 4 hours later, you reach the edge of